All right. So, first book of 2026, I was reading, or I read The Boyfriend, Frieda McFadden. So, I'm into thrillers, and so Frieda is like my go-to thriller author, but there's many others out there. And I'll be reading a variety of different thriller authors this year, as well as different genres, because I have a book club and we want to definitely give everybody an opportunity to have their genre highlighted, because not everybody in our book club is into thrillers. Um, but actually, this wasn't too bad. It wasn't, because I can. This is kind of surface level thriller. Um, so I feel like a lot of the women in my book club would be okay with this book. But this was just something that I read on my own privately. So I usually have a book club focus, and then there's sometimes I'll read that too quick in the month, and so I'll read other books in between while everybody's finishing up the first our book club book. But this was my first book of 2026. So I just had read The Only One Left in between the end of December and early January. So, but this was, I don't know who has read this book, if anybody has any insight. It was pretty good. It was actually pretty good. I really enjoyed it. Um, I definitely had different plots in my head, or different outcomes in my head, and the outcome that happened or how the ending happened was not what I thought at all. I did not particularly enjoy the ending of the book. I felt, I don't know, it was just weird. I didn't like it. I didn't like the end of the book. Um, but everything up until the ending was amazing. I just didn't like how the story ended. But others might. I just was expecting something different, or wanted something a little bit different from the ending. But yeah, so The Boyfriend, Frieda McFadden, so that was great. And it took me about a week to read this, just because I started back work this week. Um, and then now I'm moving on to The Surrogate Mother. And this book is a lot shorter, so I'll probably read this one pretty quickly. But I'm already on chapter 8. I started it last night. It's actually good, very good so far. So I'm really enjoying this book. And this is another Frieda book. Our book club will be featuring our books. So these are just some books that I'm reading personally. But my book club, we start back for the new year next week on the 17th. And then I will definitely be sharing the book that we decide to read as our book club for the next month. Anybody that's interested in joining our book club, come on and join us. If you're not maybe able to meet in person, I thought about starting a virtual meetup as well. We do meet up in person just because, but I'm over here in Texas, so not everybody's in Texas, right? So I was thinking about also having a virtual meetup group, meet up and just discussing the book. Not all the time can people get together in person, because you have families and you have children and busy schedules, and sometimes maybe hopping onto a virtual call and just taking a moment may be a little easier for your schedule. So thinking about that for this upcoming year, but this is just something I'm reading on my own. The Surrogate Mother. So anybody want to check it out? Anybody got any insight on this one? Haven't read it yet. So Frieda has a lot of books. So I definitely have not read all of Frieda's book. I think as I was looking at her book, I read all the Housemaids, and that's what I started with. Wasn't really into Frieda until I started reading the Housemaid series. And then I went from the Housemaid, I read The Tenant, and then now I'm reading The Boyfriend. Or I read The Boyfriend, and now I'm reading The Surrogate Mother. So, she has so many books out there. So, I kind of just go through books, but I don't want to just be a Frieda thriller. So, I definitely like to explore other authors. So, if you have any book to share, things that you've read, please share your insight on anything. I just enjoy kind of reading different books. I have this app, the Fable app. One of my young friends referred it to me, my friend's daughter, and she told me about it, and I was like, I never heard of it, so I kind of downloaded it, and I love it. I love it how just you can keep track of all the books you're reading. You can make goals for yourself. It's just amazing little things to kind of like keep everything in one place. So I really enjoy the little app and seeing your successes. So definitely, if you have any kind of book club tips or book club ideas, I'm always looking for ways to expand the book club. We started it last year. I wanted to get back into literary reading for fun instead of just always reading for like school or being a teacher or just even spiritual growth. I wanted to get back into loving to read because as a young person growing up, we didn't have all these things that the kids have now. We didn't have all this technology and all the things. And so I read, like I was a reader. I would sit all day and just read books. Back when I was younger, definitely growing up as a teen girl, and things like that, middle school, high school, I was into romance was my thing. Romance. You give me any romance novel, I was into it. I loved it. Not saying I don't love romance now, but I did love mysteries. Like I was totally into mysteries. I was a Nancy Drew girl. I've always kind of been into that mystery. Even when I watch shows, I've always been into like police cop shows, kind of mystery solving, those things like that. So I gravitate to that kind of reading too, as well as historical fiction, and things of that nature. So I'm always just looking at ways to just expand our book club, different fun ideas. We started last year just to kind of get back into reading. And we just started reading like a book a month, getting together at a hangout. We're not just a book club about literary, we're a book club as a support group. So I don't like to call it a support group, but I mean, that's really what it is women coming together, just talking about life, our experiences, giving each other advice, empowering each other. And then we're doing that all over literary. So then we end up talking about our book and how we felt about it and all that. But it's just a way to connect. I think as adults, we don't always take the time out to have those intentional relationships. And so it definitely is a way to connect as women in this world and different experiences that we go through, as well as being able to chat about some literature. So definitely an awesome time. So I definitely am always open to other things to kind of add to our book club, but we kind of started it that way. We'll meet at like a restaurant or somebody's home if they're willing to host it. It doesn't have to be the same host every time. We can have different hosts. I consider myself just a facilitator. I'm just the kind of one that keeps us in communication with each other, help out with kind of book ideas, but it's our group. It's our book club. It's not any one person. So anybody can come with ideas. Anybody can host it, all the things. So we'll see what this year brings. Our book club. We read some amazing books last year. You can see my recap and some other videos. So I'm just excited to see what books that we have coming forth this year. And that was the books I read. So The Boyfriend, I would kind of give The Boyfriend. I really did like the book. I just didn't really enjoy the ending. So I would definitely give it a 4.5 out of 5. And because it was a good book, I thought the ending was going to go a little bit different. So I was just kind of, that kind of threw me for a loop. And then, so we'll see how The Surrogate Mother goes. Hopefully I'll finish it this week. So stay tuned.